I thought I knew my husband, gentle, quiet, and loving. He told me his past was painful, so I never pushed. Then I found a sealed box hidden in our closet. Inside were fake IDs, different names, and a life I never knew existed. That's when I realized I didn't even know who I married. I met Nathan when I wasn't looking for anyone. He told me he was rebuilding his life, said he'd just moved from Colorado, left a messy breakup behind, and was starting fresh. He worked as a carpenter, the kind who could fix a broken chair or build an entire porch from scratch. His hands were always rough, warm, steady. We met at the hardware store. I was looking for paint. He made a joke about my terrible color choices and offered to help me carry the cans to my car. We ended up getting coffee, and then dinner, and then I never wanted to drink coffee without him again. Nathan wasn't like anyone I'd ever dated. He was calm, thoughtful. He never talked over me, never made me feel small. He didn't rush anything. When I opened up about my past, about the things I wasn't proud of, he didn't flinch. He just listened, like it mattered. After 2 years together, we got married. Backyard ceremony. Nothing fancy. He cried when I walked down the aisle. Said I was the first place that ever felt like home. But Nathan never talked about his past. He told me he grew up rough, that his family was complicated, that some doors were better left closed. I respected that. We all have our shadows. Until one day, mine stepped out of the light. It started with a stranger. At a gas station. I was inside paying. A woman walked past the window, stopped, and stared. When I came out, she was standing by my car. "Is that Nathan's truck?" she asked. I blinked. "You know Nathan?" She paled. "Is he here?" "No, he's at home. Why?" She hesitated, then said, "Sorry, I must be wrong," and she took off. When I told Nathan, he laughed. But it wasn't real. Probably thought I was someone else, he said. One of those faces, right? But his hands were shaking. That night, I couldn't sleep. I waited until he went to the gym the next morning and checked the closet. At the very back, behind old coats and tools, there was a taped-up box. Inside were documents, IDs, from different states, different names. One said Ethan Price, another, Daniel Brooks, same face. 3 identities. I sat on the floor, holding a driver's license for a man I didn't know. When I confronted him, he didn't lie. He sat down, looked me in the eye, and said, "You deserve the truth." His real name was Daniel, not Nathan. He said he'd changed it. Legally, illegally, quietly. Because the man he used to be wasn't someone who deserved to exist. He grew up in a violent home. By 18, he was already running. From abuse, from crime, from himself. He got caught up in identity fraud, helped people disappear. And eventually, he disappeared too. He swore he never hurt anyone, never laid a hand on a soul, but he did help dangerous people vanish. Then he turned on them, gave information to the FBI, cut a deal, walked free, vanished again. This time, into my life. You were never supposed to know, he said. I didn't mean to fall in love. I wanted to scream, to break something, to take off my ring and throw it in his face. But I didn't, because love is never that simple. I didn't leave that night. But the next day, I hired a private investigator. I needed facts, proof. I needed the truth from someone who wasn't him. 2 weeks later, she called. We met at a diner. She slid a folder across the table and said he wasn't lying about everything. Daniel, Nathan, had been arrested years ago. A mugshot, a headline. Man implicated in ID fraud ring walks free after cooperation. She looked at me. He's clean now, but his past was very real. When I got home, he was sitting on the porch, waiting. I handed him the file. He didn't speak, didn't defend himself, just said, "I didn't lie about loving you." That night, I packed a bag, moved in with my sister, filed for legal separation, told my mom he was traveling for work. I couldn't bring myself to destroy her image of him just yet, but he never came after me. No calls, no messages, just silence. 6 months later, I got a letter. No return address, no name, just a note. You were the only part of my life that was real. I'm sorry I didn't trust you with the truth. I hope someday you'll trust yourself enough to forgive me. I haven't heard from him since. Sometimes, I wonder where he is, who he's pretending to be now, what name he uses when someone asks, "Hey, what's your story?" But here's the thing. Even now, I don't hate him, because I don't think secrets always come from cruelty. Sometimes they come from shame, from fear, from a life you're trying to outrun. He wasn't the man I thought he was, but maybe neither was I, because I used to think love had to be forever to be real. Now I know It just has to be honest, even if that honesty comes too late.